and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level. And welcome back to Business Talk Radio. We are joined again by Andrew Aaron, LICSW. He's a marriage counselor, sex therapist, psychotherapist, you name it. He does it. Helpforpassion.com is his website. Welcome back to the show today.
Well, it's great to be back, Jill. Thank you very much.
Got it. Great. So let's introduce yourself to our listeners.
Okay. I am somebody who sits with couples all week long and helps them love better. I am a sex therapist and a marriage counselor, a psychotherapist, and I help to solve lots of problems that unblock relationships from expressing love so that both partners feel it.
Got it. Fantastic. Now, you're based out of New Bedford, Massachusetts, right?
That's right. Yeah, a small seaside city. It's a beautiful little place. And also the home to Herman Melville and Moby Dick.
Oh, fantastic. Also, just want to bring up the fact that you do a lot of your work virtual. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm still doing, it's a shrinking percentage. It's probably down to about 25%. I find that most of my individuals and couples who are seeking help, they're preferring face-to-face these days, despite any risk of the virus.
All right, good to know. I just want to open up the lines here just in case someone wants to call and have a question for you, 631-627-1840. And also, what is the topic of focus for today? I know you wanted to focus on love, but what in general about love do we want to talk about?
I was going to talk about generally how important it is, but also how difficult it is. This kind of paradox when it comes to trying to both love and be loved, get close to another, love ourselves, all aspects of love, Jill.
Great. Okay, let's get started then. And I just want to bring up a good point. I think that a lot of that love, or at least seems like love, the first 6 months of relationship, isn't that because like our endorphins are really high? What happens when you first start falling in love? Could you explain that from a a professional standpoint?
Sure. I mean, my focus and specialty is on both relationships and the emotions that we experience when we're in a relationship. However, there is the chemical, the biological and chemical reactions as well. So during the first phase of a relationship, I often refer to that as the honeymoon period. There certainly are brain chemicals that change, and especially what's called a love drug, or oxytocin, is actually increased in our brain, and that gives us a general feeling of well-being, of love, of connection, it's just a wonderful over-the-moon kind of experience. And during the honeymoon period, our relationships are just easy. They feel natural. They feel like we're in a good place, and we experience our partner as a perfect being, and closeness is just extremely nourishing and positive. It's a truly wonderful, wonderful time, Jill. However, what does tend to happen for most couples, 6 months, a year, some even after a year and a half, they start to experience each other more as a human being than a perfect being. And from a chemical standpoint, the oxytocin and other positive brain chemicals are reducing. The way I see it is nature gives us a free sample of love in the beginning. And it's kind of an enticement to get us to form a love relationship, to become connected, maybe, but also to get us invested in love so we can practice love, so we can challenge ourselves and we can grow. I deeply believe that both loving and forming a love relationship, the deepest purpose is our growth in our capacity to love. And that is to love ourselves, to love our partner, to love others and life itself. And this growth and love is so important for us. That is why overwhelmingly people couple up. That's why we're attracted to another, is to do this work of love, this growth work. And we're willing to do it while we risk hurt, while we risk pain. A lot of people have struggled in their love relationships, have had difficult relationships, and even ended the relationships. But, it doesn't take long before they're looking for love again. They're back for more. Mm-hmm. And that is because love is just so incredibly important. But for us, one of the challenges is that when we love, we're going to run right into our own limitations in our capacity to love. We're going to discover areas where we are less strong, or areas in which we don't love ourselves all that much. And when that happens, we then start to experience some pain. Mm-hmm. And after a new couple gets started and the honeymoon period fades, that's what partners start to experience as nature withdraws this enticement. Nature withdraws this love, and we start to have to generate the love on our own, and our own personal limitations and struggles in our ability to love start to show up. And that's, of course, when conflict starts to happen and the honeymoon seems over. Jill, any thoughts or comments?
Oh, it just, and unfortunately, I think the honeymoon period does end. It does, and it's hard for people to get that back, and it's hard for people. I also think people grow, and sometimes they don't grow together, and that seems to be the biggest issue. But yeah, I've been down that road before, where it's all wonderful and great for that first 6 months to a year, maybe, but then the love starts to die. So why is it dying? Is it because we're falling out of love? Is it really those chemicals, those endorphins, or whatever it is in our bodies? Or is it really not the right person?
Well, I tend to think that the chemicals are a reaction to what it is we're doing. It's not the chemicals that create it in our brain. However, there are people who are just addicted to being in love. And they are craving that honeymoon period, and I can understand it. It is a truly wonderful, wonderful experience in which our daily experience of life is vastly improved. There are some partners who, once that starts to fade, they're ready to end the relationship and rush on to the next one because they want to feel that again, right? And those folks, they're not really doing the work of love. They're just craving that good feeling. A little bit like a drug addict who craves the effect of the drug, but similarly to drugs, taking drugs and feeling good by taking drugs doesn't promote any kind of self-improvement or growth. And in fact, we know that drugs make us feel really good while they're destroying our life, right? Mm-hmm. So, yes, when the partner's personalities, the deeper levels of the personality start getting activated in the love relationship, and the pain of old wounds are activated, the love relationship becomes very complicated, very challenging. And that's when partners experience the other as not the ideal, wonderful person that they fell in love with, but a human being with real limitations, struggles, flaws, and it's sad, but that's when we start to experience the good, the bad, and the ugly in our partner. Yeah. And that's that can be a tremendous disappointment, right? And in the couples that come to see me who want their love relationships to grow and to improve, a lot of them are still feeling the tremendous disappointment that the honeymoon faded. And because the honeymoon is so profound, that created a strong and lasting impression. And uniformly, partners say, that's how I want my relationship to be. I want to get back to that, right? And I do believe that's the work of love, is to experience our own limitations, to go beyond those limitations in ourselves, and to be able to love ourselves completely and provide that kind of love in the relationship.
Oh, and stand by. We actually have a call coming in. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, wonderful.
Welcome to Business Talk Radio. Who's calling?
Hi, my name is Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. You're live with Andrew Aaron. Go ahead. Ask any questions you may have.
Hi, so I've been having some relationship issues with my husband, and I think he wants to leave. We do have a small child together, she's about 3 years old, and I really don't want to split. Do you have any suggestions?
Okay, Melissa. Well, thank you for calling in, and I'm very sorry to hear your situation. Has your husband expressed why he's considering leaving?
I think, honestly, when, COVID hit, spending a lot of, we've never really spent that much time cooped up in the house together. So I think, once it really hit, it kind of, our attitudes kind of changed, if you know what I meant.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's something that millions of couples are challenged with, and we know that too much time together can be a big problem, just like too much time apart can be a big problem. So, so far, what have the two of you done to try to create more space so that you have individual time instead of just together time?
Honestly, with our child, not a lot. It's kind of, we've been on top of each other.
Okay. And on top of each other, not in a good way, right?
No, not in a good way.
Okay. So, have you two talked at all about kind of taking turns, watching your son, and each of you gets time to go out and take a walk or do something on your own?
I mean, that would be, I just don't know how to say it without saying it with an attitude, because, every time I talk to him, it's kind of, been, rudely, why don't you go for something, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, so when you're expressing that rudeness, maybe it could be that you're expressing a little bit of the frustration or the pain that you've been feeling?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Well, what would it take? How much strength would it take to make sure that when you do talk to your husband, you're talking to him in a kind and warm manner?
In the beginning, when I first see him, not much strength until, we start, talking about, actual issues, and then it's okay, I have to really hold myself back.
Okay. All right. So you just pointed out something really important, and that is that beyond too much together time during the pandemic, there are other, what you said, actual issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the problems that you two are having that have not yet been solved, right? And that may be generating disconnection or frustration or pain. What's one of the actual issues, Melissa?
Well, we moved recently also, so
okay.
It's with their kid and everything's all over the place, and then I'm still trying to work from home, and he's suspended right now because he works in the city, so he can't really go there. So we're both trying to still work from home, take care of our kid, and do all everything's all over the place from the move. So it's just really chaotic.
Okay, all right. Sounds pretty overwhelming. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you feeling like you two are not very good at teaming up or communicating to identify a problem and creating a plan to how to solve it?
I feel like he's good with expressing on how he feels, and I think I just want him to know how I feel already, and then when he doesn't, I'm all extremely rude about it. You know what I mean? Right.
Well, I think we all wish our partner could just read our mind, right?
I know, yeah. It's I just expect him to just know.
Right. Well, I've been working with individuals and couples for decades now, and I've just noticed that we human beings we're terrible at mind reading. So what's a few things that you don't think he understands about you that you wish he'd just read your mind and know that about you, but maybe you're going to have to use some words and let him know. What's something he doesn't understand?
Like family to me is like a big deal, you know, like to
Yep. Mm-hmm.
like the money doesn't really bother me. Like, yes, it makes it like everything more comfortable, but like to me that really doesn't matter, and to him it really matters. And like to me, like a family time really matters, you know, like
Okay.
that stuff matters, and like the little things matter to him, like financial stuff and like all like having nice things, those things matter, and that really doesn't matter to me. So like when he brings it up, I'm just like, get over it, you know.
Okay. And if you say get over it, how's he likely to feel? Do you imagine?
I'm not like I don't care, because it's true. Like I don't care, but like I do care in the sense that I want to be financially secure. But it's just like in the long run, I'm just like it's going to be fine.
Yeah, I get it, Melissa. I think in that moment you're feeling some pain, and maybe it's a frustration or something else, and you're expressing that with your tone or attitude. But I suspect that you care about him as your husband.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes, absolutely.
if you're saying, you know, get over it, he's likely to feel hurt, and that's not going to help your marriage, right?
Yeah.
However, your value of family and good quality family time, that is super important, and it's absolutely essential that he understand that well also, and that if he just said to you, oh, Melissa, just get over it, you wouldn't like that either, right?
Yes, you're right.
So it's acting loving towards each other in that conversation that's going to be really important. And I think it's necessary that he understand and that you help him to understand, not through mind reading, but through words, that good quality family time is real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if he was ready to problem solve with you about that and find a way to satisfy you regarding family time, would you be willing to maybe find a way to team up with him so financially you all could be better off and a good financial team?
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like it's hard to like talk about anything right now, just because it's like every time we talk about something, it's like we're at our throats. But like, no, you definitely put it into perspective for me.
Okay. Well, you know, what you just agreed to sounds like a beautiful thing. One little change in which we created a win-win. Both of you have your values expressed, right? Mm-hmm. And taking turns in a conversation so that you each get understood is part of communicating, so you're not at each other's throats, like you just said, right? Mm-hmm. Taking it slow and saying, okay, can I have my turn first? Just listen to me. Don't judge me. Don't criticize me. It's not about debating what's true or not. I'm just telling you how I feel and what's really important to me. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's where you could say, you know, time together, doing something nice maybe with our child, that's really important to me. Can we have more of that? Right?
Yeah. No, that's definitely, I could definitely do that. No, I really do appreciate the advice, because it's something that I definitely been struggling with.
It's hard. Obviously, both of you are experiencing frustration and pain, and when pain isn't solved, when problems are not solved and the pain from them is not solved, the pain is going to run your marriage, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to take over, and the two of you, in being together, are going to unintentionally provoke the other's pain. And then if both of you feel that it's allowed to express your pain hurtfully with insensitivity to the other, you two are just going to be stuck in a cycle of negativity and pain and conflict, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not why you chose to live life together and to create a child in this world. The reason you did that is because you want life to be better. You wanted to have a better life because you each are there by the other side, and to make your child's life great. Mm-hmm. So I'd request another thing that you do is make an agreement that there's a line of mutual respect and mutual safety that you both agree you're not going to cross. You're going to use your strength to always treat each other with kindness and respect. Does that sound possible?
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds possible on my end.
Okay. Well, that's half the success, Melissa. If you can come to your husband in a positive way without crossing the line into hurtfulness, half the battle of your marriage is just won. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but you'd be setting a great example for your child.
Yeah,
Right.
that's super important to me because my parents were divorced, and I don't want to do that.
Well, that's very, very important. And you, similar to, unfortunately, millions and millions of other people in relationships, they grew up in households that in which problems weren't solved, and marriages and love relationships didn't stay together. And there's a whole generation that has grown up not being hopeful that, hey, we can succeed at loving each other and staying together for the long term, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you, how at risk do you think your husband is of leaving?
I think I think it's something that could be worked out. I don't honestly know. You know what I mean? Like I just feel that it's definitely different, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well,
I hope it's something that could be worked out.
Yeah. Maybe if you take some time and you say, I just want to understand about your feelings and your unmet needs, and you are just ready to listen to your husband for a little while, you might be able to help reduce the risk that he, in a moment of upset or intensity, just bolts and says, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, of course, it's vitally important that he do the same for you and understand how you feel and help you to feel good inside.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank
Right.
you. You've said and gave me so much different outlook on everything. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, Melissa. You're brave to come on and courageous to talk about these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, Andrew Aaron, that was a great question, great conversation. And we have just a few minutes left now in the show, and we skipped our commercial break, so don't worry about that. So, again, you have the 3 minutes left to give us a little more of your platform and to talk to our listeners today. So please go ahead.
Okay. I was talking about love before. Love impacts everything that we do in our love relationships. And one aspect of love and expressing love by including our bodies in our love for each other. You know, last week Lindsay called and she shared just a couple of details of a sad situation of being in a sexless relationship. And that unfortunately is all too common. I think roughly 20-25% of couples are in a relationship that's more or less sexless. And couples fall to that level because they're struggling with solving problems. Within the relationship, there are many unsolved problems, and those problems, each one comes with pain, and when the pain accumulates, it separates partners and they become disconnected. And then, of course, for many partners, a disconnected relationship does not support passion, intimacy, or excitement. So much of the work to maintain a passionate relationship is the work of solving problems, of communicating compassionate between partners and understanding, what causes your partner pain. And really being ready to say, I understand. I'm not judging you. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just understanding what hurts, and I'm here by your side, and I feel that pain as well. Together, let's solve that problem and reduce the pain between us. It's a big way to help maintain a passionate relationship, Joe.
Well, on that note, can you give us your best form of contact information? And thank you again for all of your advice and insights today.
Listeners can find me at my website, which is helpforpassion.com. That's help, F-O-R, passion.com. businesstalkradio.com, and there's a way to email me and text me through there. And soon there's going to be a lot of material free for download.
Hold on, there's
advice
one thing. Hold on, quickly. We have a quick time for one last caller, just 2 minutes. I apologize, but helpforpassion.com is Andrew's website. And go ahead, caller.
Hi, my name is Raquel, and I'm from New York.
Hello, Raquel. What's on your mind?
Hi, how are you? What's on my mind is
Good.
this. We're coming to a certain age, me and my husband, and he's having a problem with impotence.
Okay.
And I don't want him to take Viagra or Cialis or any of that stuff. I've heard of pumpkin seeds as a natural way, and I was just calling to get your opinion because I'm in dire straits.
Okay. Well, I'm at a disadvantage. I'm very sorry. I haven't heard of pumpkin seed as a potential help for impotence. Do you believe that the impotence is caused by physically based problems, or do you think it may be emotional or relational?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's getting close to his 60s, so I'm really not sure. I don't think it's emotional.
Okay. Well, how is his physical health in general?
He's in pretty good physical health.
Okay. Well, men in their 60s, if their health is good, should have no problem with erections, maintaining an erection. It's not true of all men, but most men in good health. But there are a lot of physical factors that interfere. Does he take many medications?
He does take a medication for his heart, yes.
Okay. All right. So he's had some heart problems. Does he take any blood pressure medications?
No.
Okay. Well, certain medications for the heart do impact erections. So first and foremost, I'd encourage you to talk to the doctor who prescribes those medicines and ask about sexual side effects.
Okay.
And also ask, could those medicines be taken in a different way in which there might be opportunities that the medication affects his physical systems less during periods of time in which you may find that he does have sexual functioning if the medication is lower in his bloodstream during a particular time. But make sure you ask his doctor about that, okay?
Okay, good
Well,
enough.
great, Raquel. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And look into the pumpkin seeds.
Okay, thanks.
Have a
Thank
great
you so
day,
much,
guys.
Everyone stay tuned. More Business Talk Radio is on the way. Andrew Aaron, thank you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level.